truthfully, I didn't think anybody could convince me to stop smoking. Nobody. It got to this, the last 10 years, before I'd actually finished a fag, I'd already lit another one up as I was putting it out. I was what they call a chain smoker.
I wanted to stop smoking, and I kept thinking about it, and I thought to myself, oh, do there still help at the surgery? So I rang my local doctor's surgery and asked them, and then they put me in touch with the stop smoking team, and I rang them and went for an appointment. I've done it like that.
And we explained what we'd been through, and she was like, come see me. And I, to be honest with you, I was like, it's not going to work. But
I didn't want to quit. I thought that I was getting told.
Pushed into a corner.
But it was a case of the doctor said to me when I was in hospital, if you don't give up smoking, you're going to be in it. Every time you get a cough or a chest infection.
So they moved me on to the e-cigs and the patches and mouth strips. And when I got home, I had a look at them and that. This was about a week or two before I actually did give it a go, because it was near to New Year, and in my head I wanted to stop on New Year's Eve.
It was the 16th of November, I think the first time I actually went and seen Karen. And been on e-cigarettes probably about 8 weeks after I started with Champets.
I started originally using a patch and the quick mist, and of course got support from the quit smoking service. It was doing really, really well, but there were those little moments like first thing in the morning or just after a meal that I found that I really struggled with, and I thought an e-cigarette might help me with that.
New Year's Day, I just stopped straight away, and went on to the e-cigs, tried the e-cigs and got on great with it. I really did. I used the patch for a couple of days as well as the e-cigs, but then after 2 days I stopped the patches and just carried on with the e-cigs and just never looked back, basically.
I felt as if I was slipping, so she said, do you want something else? So I said yes. So she's, what about a patch? I said I didn't really want a patch. So I went online and ordered some menthol ones, and I ordered I think it was gummy bears. It's like a sweet, and that was it. Never looked back.
When I started using the e-cigarette, I noticed that I was using the quick mist less and less, and then the patches, of course, went down in you have the stronger one, and then it went to a next level down, and then it was a tiny little patch at the end. And I found that the e-cigarette got me through it all.
Being such an heavy smoker and having so much nicotine through 60 or 70 bags a day, that the Champets wasn't quite enough. So that 0.6 actually it was enough to basically give your body the balance where it stuck and you was happy with it.
And every time we'd go, we'd have a carbon monoxide test, and it was almost like a feeling of accomplishment that when we saw that going down and down and down and down, it made us more enthusiastic, and kind of, we're doing something good about it. And it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. We had an excellent worker, and she was very informative, and she talked us through every single step. And there was no pressure. It was all on our own, on our own path, so to speak.
That's another thing that helped, actually. The first few, it was really to me it was when I got there for the first few times, and within, I think it was the third visit, I think we was onto a 1, and then the following times it was a 0 all the way through.
The carbon monoxide test, and that was like 84. My reading, it was really high. The smoking nurse said that was like one of the highest she'd ever seen. and that like put my ideas up and on. And then obviously when I went back, it was last week or the week before, and obviously when we stopped smoking, it's a 0 now. But yeah, I've noticed a big difference. Whereas before, when I was smoking, I'd only got to run up the stairs and I'd be gasping for my breath or something like that, like playing football with my son. My son like loves football. He's a football man. Even if it's raining, he's out in the garden playing football. Whereas I'd play with him for about 5-10 minutes and I'd get out of breath. Whereas now I could play with him for an hour or two and I'm still wanting to go more than him. You know what I mean? He's like, Dad, where are you getting your energy from?
Ventolin inhalers, I used to go through 1 a week. Now I pick up my inhalers once a month and I get 2 and they last me.
Yeah, we've got a bag full of inhalers, to be honest, where before we would be calling the doctor saying, look, he's run out of his inhalers early. You know, so, I mean, it's amazing how much his health has improved.
Yeah.
And mine as well. You know, I'm just really glad for the service because, you know, like I said, the first time we tried it, we cried, we had no support. And now that we've had the support and had the education,
And safety net. Really.
Yeah, we'll never turn back.
No.
How easy to use. The £20, that is it, literally for the full setup, battery, charger, everything.
I get what I need from this. You know, I think
It's about 30 quid for battery, but
Yeah.
this battery, the big old big one.
Still ain't figured out half the stuff it can do because I don't want to like mod the settings up, but it's got about 12 different settings on it, and it's all digital on there. So it's nuts the technology that's out these days. I mean, these weren't even thought of when I stopped the last time.
Nicotine free does not take any edge away at all. And really, you will quite easy go back to a cigarette. You get a low dose of nicotine and it just takes that edge off. Now I'm on a 0.6, which is the lowest you can get, and that keeps me content. So, but for somebody to actually start, I wouldn't just stop and go nicotine free. That ain't the real world because you will start smoking again. I know that we experience.
I like the 6 milligram where it's basically 3 more than what it was, 6 milligram nicotine intake, but you get that fruity flavour, and that's what I stick to now is a 6 milligram nicotine, and it suits me fine.
I like more or less the sweet stuff. Gummy bears is nice, cherry's nice. My favourite's peach. It's just like a fruit tasting in your mouth.
The patches and the quickness help together, but there are times where you think, am I really is it really, am I getting anything out of it? And but the e-cig makes it a lot easier because you can determine how, you know, you can have that first puff in the morning and not on the e-cig and not think, oh, I've just wasted 20, 30 quid on a pack of cigarettes. That'll do me a lot more damage.
Because you're so used to having a cigarette in your hand 24/7, you do need to do something in your hand. If you can take up knitting, you probably wouldn't even need the cigarette. But I haven't got the patience for knitting or anything like that. I am a cigarette person, and that really did substitute the cigarettes, and it has done. It's kept me happy.
Being on like 40 to 60 a day and then moving straight to this and not using any, well, we used patch for 2 days and I've not felt the need to use a patch or nicotine withdrawal or anything like that. I've just moved on to this and stayed on this, and I don't think I'll go back, to be fair.
I've never felt so better in myself. I don't smell of fags because the kids tell me I don't smell of fags. I can actually taste food, and I forgot what food tastes like. It's unbelievable.
You know, if this had been around 20 years ago, you know, my lungs might be in a lot better condition than they are. You know, but I know they'll improve, and I can see the improvement in both of us. And it's just doing good. It's great.
The e-cigarette just takes that edge off. I mean, even though it's been a couple of months now, or a few months since I stopped smoking, I still have to turn straight away to my e-cigarette after food. And basically, when I've done all my cleaning, it's my time now to sit down, have a sandwich or a cup of tea, or chat with others, and e-cigarette comes out straight away.
Even being around people that smoke now, like when I'm around them, that don't even bother me neither, whereas I thought it would. And it just doesn't. It doesn't even faze me, to be fair. I just puff on this and I think I like this better.
If it weren't for the Stop Smoking Clinic and the e-cigarette, I think the e-cigarette is what helped me get over the morning cigarette and the evening cigarette, because
That's where the most anxiety
yeah.
was, and like after you have your meal,
yeah,
you need to contact your quit smoking service, because that's what's given us the motivation, the education that we needed to be non-smokers.
And there was always like egging me on, getting me to do it, and when I weren't reaching my targets, and I knew I weren't doing it myself, and I was struggling. And then obviously, once I did like make that step and stopped the smoking and moved on to the e-cigs, started seeing them every couple of weeks, but always a support. I mean, phone numbers, texts, and whatever you need, it's always there. Really, really good.
Like a bond with her, because she was nice. So I felt as though I didn't really want to let her down, and certainly didn't want to let myself down. I think that helped, because she did give it 100% with you to support you.
It's been a lifesaver. I've never looked back. I mean, I just stopped straight away, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it because I was a really heavy smoker as well. And it's literally it's lifesaver.